Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today for the Global Woman Peace Foundation's Change Her Story, Learn, and Lead Education Initiative. Today you will be learning about bodily autonomy and your individual rights. Specifically, you will be learning about a topic called female genital mutilation, or FGM for short. Throughout the video, you will be asked questions. Students, be sure to have a pen and paper ready to write down your answers. Teachers, be sure to pause the video to allow students enough time to answer and to discuss out loud. This will not be graded. This presentation was developed based on recommendations from the UK's National FGM Centre's Know Your Body KS2 lesson plan to ensure the lesson is evidence-based. Before we begin, we are going to set some ground rules for how we will treat one another during this lesson. The class guidelines are as follows. We will listen to understand, not judge. We will be respectful. We will be kind to one another. All questions are allowed and encouraged. If anything is upsetting, teachers and administrators are here to support you. Are there any other guidelines you as a class would like to add? As you get older, you will start to notice changes in your body. You will notice changes in parts of your body that both boys and girls have. Can you name parts of the human body that both boys and girls share? Parts both boys and girls have include a head, a heart, a nose, lips, ears, and eyes. You will start to notice changes in many parts of your body, including your private parts. Now that you kids are older, it is time you learn the real names for your private parts. Your private parts are called genitals. These are the parts you have between your legs. Both boys and girls have genital organs on the outside and the inside of their bodies. Boys and girls have different genitals. A boy's external private part is called male genitalia. A girl's external private parts are called the vulva. There are 4 parts to the female external anatomy. The 4 parts of the vulva are the labia, the urethra, the vagina, and the clitoris. The labia is also referred to as the lips of the vagina. The labia is the skin on either side of your vagina. The urethra is one of 3 holes of the female genitals. The urethra is where girls urinate from. The vagina is the second hole a girl has. The vagina is the opening that girls experience menstruation and childbirth from. The clitoris is a sensitive bundle of nerves located at the top of the vulva. The anus is the 3rd hole of the female private area. The male external genitals consists of 3 main parts. These parts are the penis, the urethra, and the testicles. The penis consists of the shaft, which is the long part of the penis, and the glans, which is the tip of the penis. The urethra is the tube inside the penis where urine and semen exit the body. The testicles, also called testes, are 2 sacs located under the penis where sperm is produced. Changes in these areas are completely normal and happen to everyone as they grow up. No one's private areas are exactly alike, and it is okay for them to look different. Although, if you feel like your private parts do not look or feel right, you should talk to your doctor. Isn't the human body cool? Because you are going through lots of changes, it is important you learn about bodily autonomy. Has anyone heard of bodily autonomy before? Can you define it? Bodily autonomy is the right of a person to make choices over their own body without pressure, threats, force, or violence. Bodily autonomy means no one has the right to touch you without your consent, especially if they wish to touch your genitals. You have the right to say no to anything that feels uncomfortable. No one has the right to harm or alter your body. Please watch the following video created by UNICEF on child rights. After watching that video, I want you guys to answer some questions. Raise your hand if you have heard of human rights before. What are rights? Who has rights? What is the difference between a human right and a body right? What are some other things people have the right to? You have lots of rights. You have the right not to have your body touched or hurt in any way that makes you uncomfortable. Remember, you have the right to say no. This is your body rights. Your bodily autonomy. Now we learned about all the different parts of the body. What would happen if those parts were removed? What would happen if the nose was removed? You wouldn't be able to smell. What would happen if your eyes were removed? You wouldn't be able to see. What would happen if your ears were removed? You wouldn't be able to hear. We know it would hurt and cause many difficulties if we had body parts removed. All body parts have an important purpose. Even our private parts have an important purpose. That is why we need to talk to you about a very important topic, and that topic is called FGM. Can anyone tell the class what FGM stands for? FGM stands for female genital mutilation and can be defined as the purposeful injury or removal of part of or all of the vulva for no medical reason. There are 4 types of FGM. Type 1 FGM is the removal of the clitoris. Type 2 FGM is the removal of the clitoris and labia. Type 3 FGM is the removal of the clitoris and labia and stitching together of the entire vaginal opening with only a small hole to urinate and menstruate from. Type 4 FGM is all other injuries to the female genitalia. That was just a lot of information, and you guys might be feeling confused as to why anyone would do this to their daughters. FGM is a cultural tradition that has been passed down for hundreds of years. Many families feel it makes their daughters cleaner, and after the procedure they become a woman. These are not valid reasons and do not make FGM okay. FGM violates a girl's bodily autonomy. Remember earlier when we talked about child rights and bodily autonomy? FGM goes against both the child's right not to be harmed and their right to make choices about their own body. FGM is illegal in the United States and around the world. FGM is not allowed in the United States. It is also against U.S. law to take a girl to a different country to have FGM performed. FGM is a traditional practice. FGM happens in the U.S., but it is most prevalent in Africa, the Middle East, and Asia. FGM is not religious and is thought to make a girl clean. There is nothing wrong or unclean about the vulva in its natural state. Now, it is very important for you to know who may be at risk for FGM. There is no reason to be scared. Every girl is not at risk of FGM. This presentation is not meant to scare you or make you worried. This presentation is meant to educate you about the world you live in. Girls most at risk are girls that live in countries where the procedure is still readily performed, and girls from families that still perform the procedure. Remember, not all families practice FGM, and just because someone might fall into a risk category does not mean FGM will happen to them. FGM has long-lasting risks including difficulty urinating and menstruating, infection, and psychological and emotional trauma. FGM occurs in the United States, but in some cases, girls are taken out of the U.S. to their parents' countries of origin to have FGM performed. This is called vacation cutting. Now, we are going to hear a story about 2 best friends, Fachu and Chrissy. This story was written by the Global Woman Peace Foundation. Listen carefully as you will be asked questions about the story at the end. There was once a girl named Fachu. Fachu was a happy 7-year-old little girl. Fachu and her parents lived in a beautiful townhouse in Arlington, Virginia. Fachu's father was an accountant and her mother worked at the post office. Fachu's best friend was 7-year-old Chrissy. Chrissy lived with her parents, only 1 block from Fachu's house. Fachu and Chrissy went to the same school. Their school was 4 Mile Elementary School. Fachu and Chrissy were in Miss Leafwood's 2nd grade class. Fachu was the smartest girl in the class. Miss Leafwood liked Fachu and Chrissy. One day, Fachu told Chrissy that she and her parents were going to travel to Guinea in Africa to visit her grandparents. Fachu had never seen her grandparents because she was born in America. Her parents were born in Guinea, West Africa. Chrissy was happy for her friend, Fachu.
I wish my parents would let me go to Guinea with you and your parents,
Chrissy told Fachu. Fachu was excited that she was going to see her many cousins who lived in Guinea. She even has an American passport.
The vaccinations I had to take to go to Africa hurt a lot, but I'm too excited, so I don't care,
Fachu told Chrissy with excitement in her eyes. One day in Miss Leafwood's class, Chrissy put up her hand and said,
Fatu is going to Africa to visit her grandparents.
Miss Leafwood wanted to protect Fachu from vacation cutting. She knew that some parents took their little girls to a different country to visit their families for vacation cutting during the summer. Miss Leafwood asked Fachu's parents to come to the school to speak to them. The school principal and Miss Leafwood told Fachu's parents they knew about vacation cutting.
Nobody is supposed to take girls out of America for vacation cutting,
Miss Leafwood said.
Vacation cutting is not good for little girls. It hurts them.
The principal told Fachu's parents. Fachu's parents told the principal and Miss Leafwood they were not taking Fachu to Guinea for vacation cutting.
We are glad that you would never do that to your little girl. The law says you can't do that,
Miss Leafwood told Fachu's parents. The last week of school before the summer vacation, Fachu told Miss Leafwood and Chrissy that she was no longer going to Guinea. She said her parents had changed their minds about taking her to Africa. Chrissy was happy her best friend would be spending the summer in Arlington, Virginia with her. The girls had a wonderful and happy summer together. Now, as a class, please answer the following questions. Why do you think Fachu's parents changed their minds about taking her to Africa? Do you think Miss Leafwood and the principal were right to speak to Fachu's parents? Do you think Chrissy should have told Miss Leafwood that Fachu was going to Africa? Do you think Fachu was sad that she was not going to Africa? Great job listening, everyone. We are teaching you about FGMC and vacation cutting so you can stay safe and live a long, happy, and healthy life. So you can feel empowered to speak up, so you can know how to help others, and so you know your human rights. What to do if you or someone you know is at risk of or experiencing FGM or other body rights violations. Tell a teacher or administrator. Tell a friend's parents. Tell your doctor. Tell a police officer. In the case of an emergency, call 911. Great job listening, everyone. Does anyone have any questions? Remember, all questions are allowed and encouraged.